So good evening, inductees, parents, faculty, Board of Education, administration. It's my pleasure to welcome you again this evening to our Honor Society induction. As I prepared for tonight, I thought a lot about the role of foreign languages and what they play in today's world. We've all heard how valuable it is to know another language. It provides cognitive exercise for the brain. It can open up a host of job opportunities, or even improve your travel experience in a foreign land. But recently, I've worked to find a deeper meaning for language use. And what else can it do for me? What can it do for you? And what can it do for us as a society? Hopefully, most of you have heard of the district's global competency initiatives. Just in case, let me give you a quick review. Global competency, as defined by the Asia Society, is an individual's ability to investigate the world, recognize perspectives, communicate ideas, and take action. Sounds fairly clinical until you dig a little deeper and look at the values and attitudes associated with a globally competent person. World Savvy, another leading organization educating towards global competency, states global citizens possess the following attributes. It's a long list, listen carefully. An openness to new opportunities, ideas, and ways of thinking. A desire to engage with others. Self-awareness about identity and culture. Sensitivity and respect for differences. Comfort with ambiguity and unfamiliar situations. Reflection on context and meaning of our lives in a relationship to something bigger. Humility and empathy. It's quite a lofty list of values that can't necessarily be taught in the classroom. But looking at all of you this evening, I'm really confident that we, the teachers here in the language department, have provided you with the foundation to begin your journey to global citizenship. You have all proven academic excellence in French, Italian, or Spanish. You understand that communication is highly nuanced and complex, and you accept that mastering another language requires not only a breadth of vocabulary, but also an acute awareness of grammatical errors and structures. This induction tonight represents a benchmark for your academic success and can't necessarily predict how you will use your proficiency as you transition into adulthood. So I'm here to challenge you with the other responsibility of communication. Put your language skills to a more fulfilling use. Dare to ask a native speaker his or her perspective on a refugee crisis in their homeland in Italy or France. Reach out personally, one-to-one, face-to-face, with a Puerto Rican hurricane victim to offer your support. And think about how you would feel if any one of the latest catastrophes that has harmed good people in recent weeks and months would happen to you or to us here in Armont. What I'm asking you to think about is how can you develop a level of empathy to issues that plague the world so that you deepen your sensitivity to multiple viewpoints, accept various ways of problem solving, and embrace our undeniably interconnected neighbors. I hope you accept this challenge, not only in order to become a better person, but to become a more globally competent citizen. I'm going to now segue into introducing our keynote speaker, Ruben Torres. He is a member of a colleague and a member of the Social Studies Department, but he's been integral in the development of the Student Leadership Board, and more importantly, developing the Global Competency Initiatives here at Byram Health. So welcome.
Good evening. First, I'd like to congratulate each of the students for this tremendous honor. I'd like to thank Melissa Stahl and my colleagues in the Foreign Language Department for the invitation to be here. So, learning a foreign language and culture is not an easy feat, especially as one continues to age. It takes initiative, diligence, effort, and determination to become comfortable, let alone fluent in the foreign language. Currently, I speak two languages, fluent in both Spanish and English. I speak very, very little bit of German, beyond sehr gut, you lost me. At the present time, though, I'm actually pushing myself to learn Portuguese. Just because I want to learn a different language. I know firsthand the difficulties of learning a different language and culture, so it begs the question as to what motivates individuals, such as yourselves, to take on such a challenge. I believe that the reason for both your determination and success in mastering a different language is because you understand the ever-pressing need for change. Famous American anthropologist and author Margaret Mead once said, quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." You and I are part of the small group that Mead mentions. However, Mead's quote does not address the fact that change is chaotic. Some embrace it, others oppose it, while yet others completely ignore it. At the young age of 22, I chose teaching as my platform to help institute change. This is my 18th year as a public school educator, an accomplishment which I'm very proud of. However, my 18-year teaching trajectory has caused me to move around a lot. My career has led me to work in various communities, both urban and suburban. But regardless of the community, I managed to simply start over, identify with a new community, make new friends, meet new challenges, and continually evolve as an educator. I must admit, however, that I had an extremely difficult time believing I could do this when I first arrived at this district over 8 years ago. Coming to work in this community produced a new form of chaotic change that I was unfamiliar with. I found myself to be an alien in a strange land. For me, as a teacher of color, I entered teaching to encourage students of color like myself, that they too have the opportunity and power to initiate change for the better in their own lives and communities. I found great comfort in teaching students who looked like me, sounded like me, and with whom I share life experiences. For example, growing up in a bilingual home. I experienced a culture shock, if you will, when I first arrived at Byram in 2010. I'm not sure if I realized that when I first drove into the parking lot and saw a clear line of demarcation between the staff and student lots. I asked myself, how can I promote change in a world, changing the world in a community that, according to my initial perspective, really didn't need it? I battled daily with how I could relate, connect, and yes, even teach someone whose perception of the world I perceived was foreign to my own. It was difficult. Within my first few weeks, I remember speaking with administrators about one sole parent complaint regarding my very thick Latino accent. I should have made this parent aware of the fact that I was actually born and raised in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And although Spanish was my first language, I think my accent is more of a cross between Pennsylvania Dutch and urban Latino. Although I did find comfort that my colleagues also saw the absurdity of this claim, needless to say, I questioned how I would find success. As time went on, and I realized that to be successful here at Byram, I had to enhance what I believe to be my strength as an educator. I have found that establishing a strong rapport with students is my strong suit. So I changed my perspective and began to manage the chaos produced by this change in order to encourage my students in turn to become the thoughtful citizens described in Margaret Mead's quote. I realized that regardless of the differences between my upbringing, family, familiarity, and comfort, I still have the responsibility to connect with my students regardless of the color of their skin. It was time for me to embrace the place where I believe that God had brought me. So, to realign myself with the tenets of Margaret Mead's quote, I took 3 personal action steps I'd like to share with you today. 1, think beyond your personal bubble. This meant I had to think beyond myself, my comforts, my familiarity. Second step, change your perspective. This meant for me that I had to consider others, value the importance of connection regardless of our differences. Third, take a risk. Embrace change. Challenge the comfort that we're so accustomed to. Because of my changed perspective, tirelessly today I push my students to incorporate these 3 steps while examining both this nation's history as well as contemporary issues like immigration, racism, sexism, and poverty. I find that these action steps are vital to making it through our current political polarization. And we must refuse to allow the current political toxicity to undermine our commitment to learn from one another, to understand and consider other points of view, and master the ability to examine ideas and events through other lenses apart from one's own. To show you the power of change, I leave you with this quote from Zion Bryant. She said, quote, "I feel like anything that I feel passionate about, I'm going to be brave and do what I can to make a change." Zion was a freshman high school student from Charlottesville, Virginia, who was so compelled by a 9th grade civics lesson on civil liberties that she challenged herself to create and present a petition to the Charlottesville City Council last February. A simple petition would create a great deal of turbulence for a small American city as well as a nation. I encourage you to take risk and believe that you too can become a world changer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Torres, and I'm now going to ask the French students to rise so that they can recite the pledge.
Ok, répétez s'il vous plaît. Comme membre de la Société Honoraire de Français, je promets de me dédier à l'étude de la langue française pour pouvoir m'y spécialiser un jour en me rappelant qu'une langue peut être un lien fort entre les gens d'origines différentes, de races différentes ou de religions différentes. Comme citoyen de mon pays, je promets de promouvoir l'amitié et la compréhension entre les gens d'ici et ceux d'autres nations mondiales. Voici ma promesse. Excellent.
Come up and accept your certificate so we can induct you into society. So stand up and you can walk this way. We'll start with you. Beatrice Amorosino. Haley Croak. Jackson Dideswide. Danielle Beagle. Carly Pershaw. Sarah Wang. Jordan Justman isn't here tonight, but she's getting inducted, so I'm going to invite Catherine Kasoy up. Sophia Manners. Sophie Van Loon. Amanda Winkler. And Devin Wolf. Congratulations. Now we're going to ask the Italian students to stand. And we'll have Mr. DiMartino and Mrs. Graniero.
Come membro della Società Onoraria d'Italiano, prometto di dedicarmi studio della lingua italiana,
allo studio della lingua italiana,
con il proposito di specializzarmi un giorno e ricordare che una lingua può essere un legame intenso
tra genti di origini diverse, di razze diverse, di religioni diverse. Come cittadino del mio paese, prometto di promuovere l'amicizia e la comprensione tra questi e gli altri paesi del mondo. Ecco la mia promessa.
Grazie.
So we have a couple of students absent. I'm just going to read their names quickly as we go through the list. Beginning with, but we're going to start with Kira Aroni, who is here. We're not present tonight is Jillian Banasek, Katie Blum, and Alexandra Brocato because they had previous engagements, but let's welcome Samantha Brooks. Jessica Devanzo. Caroline DiVincenzo. Daniel DeSano. Dana D'Onofrio. Sophia Febo is not here tonight. Rebecca Fink is not here tonight. She ran into me in the hallway at the end. Michael Gagliardi is here tonight. Stella Lee. Sophia Manners for the second time this evening. Christopher Milano. Juliet Nash. Jackson Pin. Jackson Pinsky is not here tonight, but Gianna Prisco. Ashley Braun is at her soccer game this evening in Harrison. We wish them luck. Alonso Rios is not available this evening, but Samuel Schwartz is here. Skylar Sinan. Deborah Sosa. Brett Stafford. Marina Triebenbacher. And Samantha Worth.
como miembro
de la Sociedad
de la Sociedad
Honoraria de Español,
Honoraria de Español,
prometo dedicarme
prometo dedicarme
al estudio
al estudio
de la lengua española,
de la lengua española,
con el fin
con el fin
de dominarla
de dominarla
algún día, recordando que
recordando que
la lengua puede ser
la lengua puede ser
un lazo fuerte
un lazo fuerte
entre personas
entre personas
de distintos orígenes,
de distintos orígenes,
de raza o religión.
de raza o religión.
Como ciudadano
Como ciudadano
de mi patria,
de mi patria,
prometo promover
promover
la amistad
la amistad
y el entendimiento
y el entendimiento
entre ella
entre ella
y los otros países del mundo.
y los otros países del mundo.
Esta es mi promesa
Esta es mi promesa
y mi juramento.
y mi juramento.
So Justin Abramowitz. Rachel Ackerman. Christina Barris. William Bernstein is not here tonight. Michael Carcano. For the second time this evening, Caroline DiVincenzo. Dylan Dorfman, I don't see here. Rebecca Fink is not here. She got inducted twice. Jonathan Friedman is here. Come on. Brian's not here, but Chandler is here. Come on up, Chandler. Arjun Goyal. Cooper Gray. Ross Greenfield. Max Hammond. Taylor Thorpwood. Mallory Lipstein. Lily Moss, Ryan Noel are not here. Matthew Parisi. Jason Roden is not here, but Jake Rochelle is here. Come on up, Jake. Gina Sokol. Deborah Sosa for the second time tonight. Let's give these guys a great round. While this evening focuses primarily on our students, but it's a healthy collaboration between students, family, and educators that constitutes a strong language program. We want to thank you, the parents, for sharing your appreciation for foreign languages and cultures with your children, our students, and for teaching your children to explore and take risks, and for showing your children the power of words and the importance of their voice and how they can use it in all of those ways that I spoke about, how Mr. Torres spoke about this evening. So we have some refreshments. Please join us for a little bit, and congratulations.